Last spring on Oklahoma Gardening, we featured the fragrant honeysuckle, and we talked about how it was unique in that it wasn't a vine or climbing honeysuckle, that it was a large shrub with very fragrant flowers in the early spring. Well, today I want to talk about another group of honeysuckles, and the first one I want to show you is also a shrub type species. Instead of growing into a vine and climbing on things, this honeysuckle is a nice shrub. This is the blue leaf honeysuckle, Lonicera korolkowii, and you can notice that this plant has smaller leaves than most honeysuckles, and they have a distinct bluish color to them. And I really like this plant because throughout the growing season, throughout the summer into the fall, you get that nice blue color on this shrubby plant. You can see the flowers here in the springtime. They have kind of dark pink buds, and they open to paler pink flowers with those bright yellow stamens. So those are really showy. But the real joy to having this shrub in your garden is the blue color of the foliage. Now, this is going to be a quite large shrub. It's going to get to be about 6 to 10 feet tall with about an equal spread. This one's smaller right now because it gets pruned back pretty much every year. These are native to Western Asia, and they are not a problem as far as any invasiveness and birds spreading the seeds around and causing any problems in the landscape. Again, this is the blue leaf honeysuckle. I have seen it for sale in Oklahoma, but generally they're a little bit hard to find, so you may have to look them up online and order one from a mail order catalog. Blue leaf honeysuckle, Lonicera korolkowii. Well, here in Oklahoma, we have 5 species of honeysuckle that are native to our state. Some are vine-type plants, some are shrub-like plants. And this is one of the most showy members of our Oklahoma native honeysuckles. This is the coral honeysuckle. Sometimes it goes by the name of trumpet honeysuckle, widely available in the nursery trade. These are actually native to about the eastern 1/2 of the United States, from Connecticut over to eastern Nebraska, down through eastern Oklahoma and eastern Texas, but absolutely a great plant. And one of the neat things about the foliage of this plant, you can see right down here that the leaves are arranged opposite of each other on the stem, and you see these type of leaves down in the lower parts of the plant, but as you get up close to the flowers, you can see how the leaves change. Look how they're connected there, and even way up here, completely encircling the stem, almost like the stem pierces through one leaf. One of the neat things about our coral honeysuckle. The leaves are also sort of a bluish color, and depending on where you live will depend on how much foliage remains through the winter. In the southern parts of the state and in states south of Oklahoma, this plant is pretty much an evergreen. Here in Oklahoma, we call it a semi-evergreen, and it just depends on how cold the winter is, how many of the leaves hang around through the winter. But the flowers of the coral honeysuckle are absolutely gorgeous. They are produced here in the springtime, a great flush of flowering, and these are coming off of the old wood of the plant, so you get a big flush on the old wood of the plant. But then throughout the year, this plant is pretty remarkable in that it'll flower a little bit on the current season's wood. So sometimes in the fall we have a great display of flowers as well, produced on the new wood. The coral honeysuckle can grow out in full sun, and it can also grow in quite a bit of shade, although the flowering is not going to be as abundant in the shaded part of the garden. Coral honeysuckle, trumpet honeysuckle, the hummingbirds absolutely love the flowers of this plant. Well, I've got another selection right over here that I want to show you of the coral honeysuckle, and you can see it has all yellow flowers. This is one called John Clayton, and this plant was found, this selection of our native coral honeysuckle, this was found in the 17th century in Gloucester, Virginia, on the grounds of a church. And it was named John Clayton after an early botanist in the United States. But John Clayton honeysuckle has these sulfur yellow flowers Also great for hummingbirds, a different color, and this just really lights up the landscape whenever it's in bloom in the springtime, and also gives us several flowers throughout the year. So the coral honeysuckle and the John Clayton cultivar of coral honeysuckle, some great selections of our native honeysuckle for Oklahoma landscapes.